So since tearing my MCL on a recent jaunt up to the Blue Mountains, I decided I better not do anything too dramatic until it starts to heal up a bit. So I thought I'd show you a combo of 3 rides around the bays in the north side of Sydney. These are good for a morning jaunt before the other half wakes up, or when you've got a few hours spare and want to go for a ride. So all these rides are within Greater Sydney, but they will need a National Parks Day Pass, which costs $12 at time of recording. An annual pass is much better value if you want to do this a bit more often, which is $65 for a whole year. So the first ride is Bobbin Head, the second is Akuna Bay, and the third is West Head Lookout. You can do all 3 in one hit, or you can split them into separate rides depending on how much time you have. So these 3 rides can be done as one single ride or as separate rides, and I normally do it as separate rides. Each one sort of takes about an hour or so and is a good amount of time just to get out and clear your head. So the first ride is this Bobbin Head run. To get there you go up the Pacific Highway to the M1 motorway, take the Bobbin Head exit and do the loop there. That comes out at North Turramurra, and you then go down Mona Vale Road through St Ives and turn left towards the Akuna Bay run. After Akuna Bay, you continue on to West Head Lookout, which is a straighter run but is rewarded by the best view of the day, which is the view from West Head Lookout looking over Barrenjoey and Pittwater. As all rides are in Sydney, you have to start it with a bit of boring riding. In this case, it's heading up the M1 motorway. You take the very first exit from the motorway, so you're still within Greater Sydney, and turn right towards Bobbin Head. To get into the national park, you'll need to buy a day pass from one of our friendly park rangers, and this day pass will cover you for all the parks involved in the 3 rides in this video.
Hello mate, I've got a pass.
You're starting fairly high up and heading down towards the water at the peninsula, so it's pretty much a downhill run the whole way. I'll leave you with some of the highlights of the first leg of this ride. If you want to skip ahead, just go to the next chapter. As you get to the end of the run towards Bobbin Head Peninsula itself, it sort of opens out onto this large area. Now this is a big area popular with families and people having picnics. There's a few good bushwalks that start from here. And there's a little side jaunt you can take out to a place called Apple Tree Bay. arriving in Apple Tree Bay, you get the usual entertainment of watching people launching their boats. And it's extra busy at the moment because it is the summer school holidays here in Sydney. Just time for a quick snack at the kiosk run by a very friendly Korean family, and they sure do know how to knock up a bacon and egg roll. Whenever you're out on a ride, always a good idea to keep an eye out for the police. So now it's time to head back up the hill on the other side of Bobbin Head. This run is pretty similar to the run down to Bobbin Head on the other side, but going uphill just has a bit of a different feel when you're hitting the corners. The ride back up the hill on the other side of the valley is just as fun and twisty as the ride down the hill coming in. Once you come out of the national park, you end up in the sleepy little suburb of North Turramurra. From there you head down through St Ives, down Mona Vale Road, and then take the left towards Akuna Bay. As you approach Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park, make sure you take the left exit towards Akuna Bay. If you don't take this exit, it actually hurries you on to the third trip in this video, which is West Head Lookout. If you take a left here, it takes you down to Cottage Point, which is a very small marina and shop, and a good place to hire a small boat if you want to go out onto Broken Bay. Once again, you can make use of your day pass at this national park.
Okay. A good place to stop for a coffee about halfway along this route is the Akuna Bay Marina. You can have a look at some of the nice boats here and yeah, sit down and relax and have a nice cup of coffee. 10 or 15 minutes up the road and you come to the turn off on the left to go towards West Head Lookout. Not so many twisties on this final run, but the journey's well worth it for the destination. As I was leaving West Head, an interesting thing happened. I got a low pressure alert on the rear tyre. So I pulled over and had a look at the tyre. A bit tricky with the dodgy leg, but anyway, the tyre seemed to be all fine. I gave it the good old kick and squeeze test, and I thought I'd just get back on the bike and see if the restarting the bike got rid of the error. I cycled through the menu to get to the screen that shows the tyre pressure gauge, and when I got there I noticed that it had the correct pressures of 40 and 34, but for some reason the pressure of 40 was red. It turns out once I started riding that the error went away fairly quickly and the tyre pressure was at 40 psi. So I'm not sure what triggered this false alert. Perhaps it was something to do with the tyre being in the sun where it was parked, or the bike being at an angle, or anything like that. I would rather get a false alert and pull over and check the tyre than to unknowingly have the tyre deflating as I was heading down the freeway at speed and not realise until the blowout happened. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this slightly more tame video, and I look forward to making some more interesting off-road videos once the leg gets a bit better.